that there is a brand new Rasmussen Reports survey previewed exclusively by Daily Wire. It is about Disney. So Disney, of course, is a company that I have long had tremendous admiration for, or at least I did up until a few years ago. When we lived in California, we were annual pass holders over at Disneyland. It was the best place to go with your kids. I have pictures of myself with my own parents when I'm a small kid at Disneyland. My fourth date with my wife was at Disneyland. Love Disney product, big Disney fan, up until they decided a few years back that they were going to go completely woke. They were going to move to the left. They were going to start injecting a bunch of LGBTQ plus minus divided by sign messaging into their programming, particularly for kids. And this is despicable stuff because you're taking legacy properties and you're still making your money off your legacy properties while simultaneously promoting a woke left-wing agenda that targets children. That is what Disney has been doing. Well, now this Rasmussen Reports survey shows that 60% of Republicans have an unfavorable opinion of Disney, including 35% who say they have a very unfavorable opinion. That survey was conducted in late September. Only 32% of Republicans have a favorable view. For Democrats, the results are precisely the opposite because, of course, for a lot of Democrats, they are perfectly happy with spoon-feeding a bunch of leftist tropes into children's programming. And again, this is no surprise. There's another study that came out just yesterday from GLAAD. GLAAD is the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation. Pretty much all the big Hollywood studios pre-screen their films. I kid you not. There's a thing they actually do. They pre-screen their films and TV shows for GLAAD's board of censors. And GLAAD actually goes through and determines whether or not this is acceptable to GLAAD. Well, now GLAAD has put out a report rating major Hollywood studios on how much LGBTQ plus minus divided by sign content they are squeezing into their films and TV content. And here's what they found. They found that Disney is the top company along with Netflix. That is what they call LGBTQ plus minus divided by sign inclusive. In fact, according to their statistics, they give them a 41% rating, which is a good rating. They made 59 total films. 24 of them were LGBTQ plus minus divided by sign inclusive. 41%, which is next to Warner Brothers Discovery, the highest rate. They're one of only 3 studios that received a good rating from GLAAD. And again, all of this is designed for a purpose. And the purpose is, particularly when it comes to a kids company like Disney, to target children. It's one thing for Netflix to do this sort of stuff. Netflix is largely designed not for children, but Walt Disney is designed explicitly for children. It is films like Lightyear, which bombed at the box office, largely due to the fact that one of the major storylines was about a lesbian couple. It's about the fact that Disney has decided that they wish to, in the words of one of their own animators, sledgehammer you with the not at all secret gay agenda. When you are running a business, your employees create all sorts of interesting situations. We've had to deal with many of them here at Daily Wire. Our employees' liabilities very often become our company liabilities, unless you have a really good HR department. This is why you need to talk to Bambee. Bambee gives you access to your own dedicated HR manager starting at just $99 per month. This person is available to you by phone, email, and real-time chat. They'll help you run employee onboarding, terminations, and performance reviews. With Bambee's HR Autopilot feature, you can automate important HR practices like setting policies, employee training, and feedback procedures. All of Bambee's HR managers are based right here in the United States and can support the nuances across all 50 states. HR managers can easily cost $80,000 per year, but Bambee starts at just $99 per month. Schedule your free conversation today. See how much Bambee can take off your plate. Go to Bambee.com right now. Type Ben Shapiro under podcast when you sign up. It lets them know that we sent you. Helps us, helps them as well. Spelled Bambee.com, Bambee.com. Type in Ben Shapiro. You don't think about HR when you found a company, but the fact is you need it or it's going to destroy your company. So go check them out right now. Bambee.com. Type in Ben Shapiro. Let's say that you have an employee. We'll call him Matt Walsh. And let's say that guy, he's done an enormous amount of good in the world, like really done tremendous things for the country. Let's say he also goes absent for long periods of time with no explanation. And let's say that at a certain point you decide, we actually need a person on the Matt Walsh show. And if Matt's not going to do it, we're going to need someone else to replace Matt Walsh. Well, this is when you would head on over to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes the hiring process faster and easier. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology finds candidates whose skills and experience match your job description. Got your eye on top candidate? ZipRecruiter's invite to apply feature lets you send them a personal invite so they're more likely to apply. To attract a specific candidate, ZipRecruiter offers attention-grabbing labels for your job posts like remote or training provided. ZipRecruiter is trusted by millions of people. In fact, over 3.8 million businesses have come to ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. Make a positive impact on your hiring future with ZipRecruiter. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within day one. See for yourself. Head on over to this exclusive web address. Try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/DAILYWIRE. ZipRecruiter is indeed the smartest way to hire. Okay, meanwhile, Joe Biden is doing a horrific job. Again, we've now been through most of today's show and not mentioned Joe Biden. How is that possible when the president of the United States is running this economy into a ditch? How is that possible? The answer is when Republicans, once again, kick themselves in the balls repeatedly, everyone points and laughs at the guy kicking himself in the balls, even if the building behind that guy is completely on fire and children are running and screaming. Like that. That's how it works. That's how it works. In any case, Joe Biden continues to be terrible at his job. He was asked yesterday how to confront family members who are MAGA family members. And here was Joe Biden at his most convincing and charismatic.
How would you advise those people who do share your concerns, but may be wary about talking to a MAGA parent, neighbor, coworker? How would you advise them to do that?
Vote. But I also think that we should be engaging people more and not be worried about our neighbor. Talk to them. Sit down and say, what do you think? Well, and not get in arguments, but say, this is what you say this, but how about this? And force people to get in a two-way conversation.
Wow, that is riveting stuff there from the dead president of the United States. When they used to say dead presidents, they meant, the guys on dollar bills. Now we actually mean the president of the United States, who is a walking zombie. Kaiser Permanente is now on strike. This is the largest U.S. healthcare walkout on record. That's just what we need right now in a time of rising cost, is we need all of the healthcare workers walking out. According to the Wall Street Journal, more than 75,000 nurses, pharmacists, and other employees of Kaiser Permanente walked off the job Wednesday in the largest U.S. healthcare strike on record. The workers struck after contracts expired and their unions couldn't reach an agreement with Kaiser on how much a new deal would increase wages and staffing. Kaiser has brought on thousands of temp workers to fill some vacancies. They're starting to postpone appointments. I mean, what a disaster area. Acting U.S. Secretary of Labor Julie Su has met with both sides to help resolve the strike and is seeking to move the talks forward to reach a resolution. The strike, which is scheduled to last as long as 3 days, adds hospitals, pharmacies, and clinics to workplaces roiled by labor action this year. Why do you think this is happening? Why is this happening? Well, people say it's the tight labor market. It's not the tight labor market. The tight labor market automatically drives up the price of labor. The reason they're striking is because Joe Biden is in the White House and his entire administration is in hock to the labor unions. That is why they know that the Secretary of Labor is going to jet on in and cram something down on Kaiser. Kaiser, by the way, serves almost 13 million members at 40 hospitals and more than 620 medical offices. The work stoppage involves Kaiser workers in 5 states and Washington, D.C. It's the largest action by healthcare workers since 1993. Kaiser Union said inflation has eroded employee wages. Whose fault is that? Joe Biden's. Staff shortages are burning out workers while compromising the quality of care. Workers are demanding that Kaiser do more to boost hiring and keep workers, such as offering better raises. The cost of living is not matching the current wages. We are losing people. Kaiser said its compensation leads its markets, and the company has already increased hiring. The reason these strikes are happening, again, is because Joe Biden is president of the United States. That is the reason that Joe Biden, he is presiding over all of this. He owns this economy. Bidenomics is all of this. It is healthcare strikes. It is UAW strikes. It is a failure to be able to sell American bonds at the rates that are necessary to even be able to sustain our debt. Economic stagnation is the real threat of the Biden administration. I've said this for at least a year and a half at this point. The threat is not inflation. Inflation's bad. Inflation's terrible. The real threat is economic stagnation built off inflation, higher interest rates, regulatory strictness, labor unions. All of that is just sand. It's just sand in the mill. It is sticking up all of the wheels of the economy. And Joe Biden is responsible for every single part of that. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.